that. Think about this. You have some kids, unfortunately, because of this white-owned media outlets like BET promote negative images of black men, and people start to look up to those negative images. So the young girl who doesn't have any good examples in her life because maybe her daddy was removed for whatever reason, she will look at the guy who studies every day and say, oh, he's square, he's corny. But then she'll look up to the guy, who is getting high every day, who's going to be dead by the age of 30. Or she'll make fun of the guy who treats her well, who says, hey, I love you, I respect you, I want to be with you. And she wants to be with the guy who wants to beat her up, and abuse her kids, right? Or, or she'll look down on the guy who is sitting there with his nose in a book and will look up to the guy who can barely read. Why in the world would you admire a man who does not have the skills to be successful in life? Do you understand that when you are attaching yourself to sinking ships like that you are punishing your children? You hate your children when you attach yourself to men that are sinking ships themselves. And it's sad. I hate saying it like this. I'm not making fun of anybody, but it's true. Think about this. Imagine has anybody ever seen or gone through this? I mean, yes or no question. I'm gonna read what she said in a minute. I want y'all to hear what she said. Has anybody ever seen like the disappointment that a child has when they look up to their father and they think their father is like going to come through for them, and daddy don't come through for nothing? Like daddy, my daddy's going to pick me up today at school at 4:00, and then daddy doesn't show up. Has anybody ever seen that? Has anybody ever felt that sinking pain in your chest that you would feel when you either witness it or you go through it yourself? Has anybody ever seen, what a child feels like when the little girl gets molested because her daddy's not there to protect her and doesn't even care, doesn't even know who she is? Has anybody ever seen what a kid feels, what a little boy feels when he wants to see his daddy and his daddy doesn't want nothing to do with him? And so he's growing up angry and he's out in the streets beating people up and doing crazy stuff. Well, why? Well, because he's pissed off. Well, why? Well, because you didn't pick the corny guy who actually wants to take care of his kids and wants to be there. You pick the cool guy. You pick the guy who's like getting high and drunk all the time and just acting a fool, don't want to read a book, don't want to plan or save or invest for the future, right? Because you think that love is corny. You think education is corny. You think that planning is corny. You think that that ambition is corny. And I'm not making fun. I'm not saying this is true for everybody, right? So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Give me a yes if you have seen this culture and if it bothers you. Right. And I think it's important. I just really wanted to drill in on this because I told my brother, I said, this is personal, man, because I'm speaking for the corny guys out here. And I want you to keep being corny, keep being corny, keep being different, Don't fit in. You don't want to fit in. You never want to fit into a losing culture. If you're on a losing team, you don't want to play like your teammates. You want to play, you need to go spend some time with a winning team, go study winning organizations. If I'm playing for the Chicago Bears, which is one of the worst teams in the NFL, I don't want to play like the other Chicago Bears. I'm going to go study the Kansas City Chiefs and figure out how did they win a Super Bowl. Media takes the losers and makes you think the losers are the winners and makes you think the winners are the losers.